Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Thunder, and today we're gonna be finishing our water system and our entire single player game. Now, I know I said this last video and the one before and the one before it, but this is truly gonna be the last video. There's no more single player focused videos from here on. Next couple of videos for this series is gonna be turning this whole thing into multiplayer, which usually if you're gonna make a multiplayer game, start with multiplayer in mind, like just do the full multiplayer, then just do this. But as I wanted you guys to also have a single player experience that you can make, we're just gonna turn this into and adapt it to multiplayer. But that's not the smartest choice, but it's the easiest one in this case. Now, back to this. So basically, our water. What's going on with it? Now, when we swim, we get this issue. We got the whole swimming down, everything. Now, the main problem is one, our head up, it stays locked to wherever we were doing when we enter the water, whether it's running or walking, it stays locked to that. And two, so when we go in water, we start moving, but when we go up, we start skipping like this, which gets worse time and time. So what are we gonna do? Now, we're gonna basically solve this issue, add post-processing underwater, which is gonna be pretty nice. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and our water, where is our swimming area? Right here. Let's reactivate the mesh collider. It's really downwards, so we're gonna up it a little, so about there. So we don't have that much distance between it. And then we're gonna do Control S. I'm gonna remove the mesh renderer from it. And then next thing over here we got if transform.position plus move there.y is greater than water.getComponent.collider.bounds at extent dot y. So here's what we're missing. Water.transform.position plus transform.position.y. Yeah, because we're only calculating the bounce extent, not the actual transform plus the bounce. So now this should fix it. So let's go ahead and do play maximize. And hopefully that solves the issue. Should fix it. Again, should. So we're going into the water. Should just work. Should work just fine. So yeah, we're moving into it, and now, yep, there we go. We're locked to it. Now, obviously, we're gonna need to up our water a little because the waves are taking us underwater. So we're gonna do that. Let's just mesh render, and let's just place it at about here, maybe. Yeah, that should be good. Mesh render off. So if we activate it, yeah, like that should be fine. Now let's save it, hit play. And let's just go for the whole thing. Now, all we have left is adding drowning, and I believe would be, yeah, the post-processing. So, yeah, then, yeah, right here, we stay right here. Waves come up above us a little bit. Now, you guys are going to have to play around with this and make sure that the collider stays at a point where the waves are not passing your head. So, but yeah, for the rest, your swimming system is all in place. I'm gonna just up it to about here. We should fix the entire problem. Yep, right about there. That's fine. Now, what are we gonna do next? Let's get started with the post-processing. So basically what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna take our post-processing layer. So camera shake, no, it's on main camera. Main camera right here. Now this post-process layer, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put the whole color grading temperature down to blue like this. And we're gonna increase our fog, which is gonna give it a real nice touch. So let's just save that. Let's save, and now we're gonna create a new script. In scripts, let's make a new folder, call it camera, and on this one we're gonna drag our HEPUB, camera look, and camera FOV handler. We're gonna drag it into our camera folder. Now over here we're gonna create a new C# script, and we are going to call it post-processing handler. Now let's open it up, and we're gonna go and say using Unity Engine .rendering .postprocessing. Next, we are going to have a public, I believe would be post-processing layer. Post-processing layer. Post-process layer. This is going to be normal post-processing. And then we're going to have another public post-processing layer, which we're going to call water post-processing. Then we are going to, let me just check the name of this real quick. So on main camera, we got post-process layer. No. Post-processing volume. This is, oh, profile. Okay, yeah. So it's not this, it should be profile maybe? Post-process profile. That's what we need. Then over here we're gonna do private post-processing volume. Now we're gonna do volume. We're gonna call it like that. Now we're gonna need a private bool in water. Now, how is this gonna work? It's pretty simple. We're gonna go to our player script, and we're just gonna copy this code from here, but we're gonna do something a bit different. So down here, just paste it, and actually no, we're gonna do water, and we're gonna call it water. And then on update, if water equals null, then volume dot layer dot profile equals normal post-processing. Else volume dot profile equals water post-processing. And that should be it. Now what we gotta do next is our main camera. We're gonna add a box collider to it that's gonna be triggered. So main camera, then we're gonna add box collider, and this is going to be trigger. Now I'm gonna just put it down to like 0.2, about that size. So 0.2, 0.2. And with that being done, now we got to do one more thing. So go to your post-processing volume right here and hit your profile. Now we're gonna call this normal profile. Then we're gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna call it water profile. And next thing, select your main camera, and we're gonna add the water handler script. No, the post-processing handler. There we go. And we're gonna drag each profile in normal and water. Now, by default, we're going to have our normal profile, but for now, we're gonna drag the water profile in, and we're gonna make some tweaks to it. First of all, the field view, bring it all the way down so it's blurry, something like that. And the focus distance, just make sure to have it that way. Bloom, we are going to intensify it a little. Color grading, bring the entire temperature down, and the tint, we're gonna enable it, and then just play around with it however you please. that's up to you. And the exposure, we're gonna minimize it a little. Now, motion blur, chromatic aberration. Yeah, we're gonna leave that. Lens distortion. Okay, nope. Not that. Auto exposure. Yeah, that looks good. The ambient occlusion, we're gonna bump it up a little. Then we're just gonna go up here and drag the normal profile in. Now let's save that. Make sure we got our profile set up. Yep. Now let's hit play. And we're going to run for water and see what happens. So when we go into here, you know, it's all normal. As the moment our water goes, or camera goes underwater, it's not working for some reason, which I think I know what the reason is. Let's remove the trigger component from it. Should be working. Okay. If water equals null, then we do this, otherwise that. Oh, here's the thing. I'm gonna see what's going on and I'll show you guys how to fix it. Okay, so I know what the issue is. So basically on your main camera, go add component and add a rigid body. Then you're gonna make it so it doesn't use gravity and is kinematic. Freeze all of this. I'm just gonna drag it over here to keep it organized. And next thing, you're gonna save, go back to your code, and on start, volume equals get component volume, post processing volume. Post process volume. Alright, then I'm just gonna put this back to private because it was public for a while. Now let's go back here and we are going to go ahead and play maximize. Hit play and let's see what happens. So we go into here, you know, it's all looking normal. Then we go down and we start seeing like this. Now, obviously you need to 100% modify this because again, you know, doesn't look the best, but it's something. Now you got your underwater effect. It feels like you're underwater and you can swim. Now we just gotta add drowning. Okay, so let's go for that. Now for drowning, what we are going to do is pretty simple. We're gonna go to our player script and where is it, player? We're gonna say on swimming, no, not swimming. Oh, it should be player stats actually, never mind. Player stats. Then over here, we're gonna, on stats and damages depletion, we're gonna add a public float. And it's gonna be drown damage. And we're gonna make it like 0.2 or so. Save that. And then on update, we're on update stats actually, we're gonna do damages right here. We're gonna do if get component in children. I believe that will be post processing handler. Now we're using this because this is already getting when the camera is underwater and when it's not. Dot water post. Okay, let's go back to our post processing handler. And for water, we're basically gonna do a public getter. So we're gonna do public water. Then we're gonna do capital W water equals greater than water. Basically what we're saying is this value right here is public and we can access it, but we cannot modify because it's always equals to the private. So this is basically called a public getter. Now, save that, go back to player stats and do water. Sorry guys. Do water is not equals null, then health minus equals drown damage times time that delta time. There we go. And there's one more thing that we gotta do and we'll be done. So let's hit play. Oh, we got our normal plus processing working perfectly. Our health is at 100%. Now let's go into the water. So as you can see, we're already on water. We're not drowning. But if we go underwater, our health starts going down. Slowly but surely. If you guys want to increase that value, it's up to you. Just play around with it as you wish. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the swimming. Now we're gonna do one more thing, which is gonna be for the pause menu. I totally forgot to do this on last and previous video. So the last one and the one before that one. So let's go to our game menu. And on it, we're gonna make it so it pauses the game. So update right here on if main, we're gonna say right here time dot timescale equals 1. Then we're gonna copy this. If opened, the UI is gonna be showing and the timescale is gonna be 0. So our game's gonna be paused. Then over here on this else, so if it's not open, then our timescale is gonna be 1. There we go. So we just gotta test that out. Okay, where are our pickups? They disappeared for some reason. Oh yeah, because data got loaded. Well, yeah, so if we go like this, you know, we're aiming. Okay, we need to launch it from the main menu. Also, we're gonna do one more thing. Go to game menu right here, and where it says new game, we're gonna do the following. So save handler dot load. Okay, no. Save handler dot load equals false. Because if we previously loaded our game, this is gonna be true. So it's always, even when we hit new game, it's gonna be loading the previous data. Now, by doing this, we're making sure that if we loaded before and now we're making a new game, it's not loading anything. So now let's go back to our game menu scene, to our main menu scene. So we're gonna do assets. I believe it would be scenes, main menu, and let's hit play. Now let's go new game. Give it a little time to load. Now I'm walking right here. If I hit escape, the entire game pauses, as you can see. Now we're gonna add 2 more things. Actually, not just one. Let's go to our game scene. And as of right now, our grass and our trees. All right, give me just 1 second. Okay, sorry guys, had to pause the video, got a call. So as I was saying, now you can see your grass is static, or trees also when they spawn, the leaves are static. So we're gonna add a wind zone. So we're gonna add wind to our game. So we're gonna right click over here. We're gonna say effect, no, 3D object wind zone. Now where is our wind zone? I'm just gonna drag it over to here. And over here you can see the direction that it's taking. Now I'm gonna give it something like this. so it's towards here and downwards. We're gonna save it, and let's just go back to our main menu scene so we get access to the whole loading function. I'm gonna load my game, and as you can see, our trees have wind just way too harshly, and our grass also has wind. Now we're gonna lower the intensity of the wind zone because it's way too much. So main, let's put into like 0.08. Let's see what that feels like. Yeah, 0.08 is way too little. We're gonna do 0.5, half of what it was before. Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, 0.5, that's perfect. And your trees have wind, so does your grass. Now we're gonna go to our game scene and select wind zone. I'm gonna do 0.4, save it, and that's pretty much it. We are done with our entire game. Now, what's up next? Next video, it's gonna be getting started with the multiplayer. Now, gotta warn you guys, from the next video on, they are gonna be more complicated because we are working with multiplayer, and we're gonna be using Photon networking. Now, that's not the networking I use for my game. The networking I use for my game is called Riptide networking. But the issue with Riptide, to make this sort of game multiplayer, we would have to recode most of the things. Because Riptide is a server-based structure, which means there is a server, a central server, which moves the player around, does all the actions for you, and all you see on your client is the reproduction of those things. Now, that's what I use for my game, but the problem with that is way too complex for this kind of game. And we will have to make 40 or 50 videos for that. So we're gonna be using Photon, which first has a bunch of pre-built functions like destroying and spawning things. Those are things that you would need to code manually with Riptide. So we're gonna be using Photon, but we're gonna be using a peer-to-peer connection system, which means one player is gonna be the server, the rest are gonna be joining that player. So it's not gonna be a safe system, so it's gonna be more for co-op sort of thing. If you want to make it a PvP game to play with your friends, go for it. This is going to be a PvP commercial game. Don't do it because there's going to be hackers everywhere. Sorry. Also, people can just change like the damages of weapon and everything like that with just using something like a cheat engine, which is probably the simplest way to cheat in games. So you're warned already, but again, this is all for this single player aspect. If you guys have made it to this point, you got no idea how much I appreciate that. Now, that being said, as always, guys, thank you for watching. And if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and consider subscribing. It helps a lot. Now, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will get started with the multiplayer.